Happy Wednesday, everyone. This is not deja vu. This is not the cool gladiator that we've been building. This is just a humble impulsor. But I figure since building the gladiator was fresh on my mind, I'd finish this little guy, and then also do. Basically, the impulsor has some various options for how you can equip it. And again, that's on the original impulsor sprue. And the gladiator had that same sprue, so it has all those parts. So I'll build the parts for this impulsor, and I'll build the parts that were for the gladiator in the gladiator kit as well. So I'll have all of the options that I can mix and match to have ultimate customization. Yes, on my mind like Georgia. Wow, that was a roller coaster. I mean, it's not done yet, but oof. Georgia was very interesting yesterday. I'm liking how things ended up. Today will be an interesting day in the history of our humble republic. Let's see what happens. A little bit of chaos here and there. Yeah, the recount stuff is interesting. The percentages that trigger. Yeah, it's all very interesting. Let's put it that way. I can only imagine what those of you in other countries think, looking at what's going on here. Mewcouch got a basilisk. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's so many good vehicles out there. Ooh, tornado sirens. Eesh. I'm not gonna lie. As with a lot of other people, in this year of interesting things, well, in 2020 at least, you gain a lot of new perspectives about things. And one of the things that my family we looked at and talked about a little bit was, well, why are we living in Southern California? And do we need to? What if we looked at living somewhere else? And it was interesting to consider. Well, I mean, there's certainly at this point there's nothing that we're doing here that we couldn't do elsewhere. My wife doesn't do a whole lot in the film industry right now, and of course now there's so much filming going on in other places. And everything here is so expensive. Like, insanely expensive compared to most other places. I have family in upstate New York, and their cost of living is it's crazy. How much less it is than ours is here. And the price of property and land and everything else. But then we're talking about it, and we were just like throwing out, oh, well, what if we lived in, this part of the country, and there is something to be said about weather. And it sounds silly, and we always joke about how here in Southern California, like, oh, we don't have seasons, and blah blah blah, and it's like, well, that is kind of a thing, though. It is something. Okay. Panels. We've never had to dig ourselves out of snow. We've never had to worry about tornadoes. It gets hot, but it's not the end of the world. So I don't know. It was an interesting thing to look at and think about. Who knows? Well, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. But it was an interesting. It's always an interesting thought experiment. What if we packed up everything and went somewhere else? I don't know. Who knows? And twice the weather on Sundays. Yeah. Yeah, we're this year is definitely putting stress on a lot of governments, and we're seeing how things really work in a lot of places around the world. So we'll see that elections going on during the virus, and then elections that happen immediately after. We'll see what happens, what people really think. Will there be substantive changes? Will people try to get smarter, or will people retreat into being dumb? We can have hope. Yeah. People get smarter. I mean, we can wish, right? Sometimes it happens. Sort of. Have I met people? Not lately. I don't go outside anymore. Okay, so for this back one, I need 3 sets of 29. I try to meet as few people as possible these days. Okay. Oh, sounds like the little one is awake. He's been sleeping in lately, which has been pretty cool. Ooh, Zardoz, you found a cool piece of music? King of the Monsters, huh? Nice. That is true. I do have my own people. Oh yeah, the Godzilla main theme, so great, classic. Okay, let me try to remember how these things go together. It's dots down. There we go. That's a good way of remembering. Dots down. Hey, Erdinsk. Yeah, all my people have helmets. You better have a helmet in this house. Ooh, we could talk briefly. So why are these vehicles so important? These new... Why are we all getting these new tanks? Well, the Gladiator is actually a tank, so that's cool. It can actually blast people. The thing that I'm building now, the Impulsor, is to carry around your Primaris dudes. Because there's a really silly rule that Games Workshop went with. Where are my models? Yeah. Well, that's true because they told us to. So original Marines look like this. Primaris Marines look like this. They're a little bit bigger. It's true. And yes, according to the rules, these guys can't fit. They can't fit in just about any vehicle that these guys have. Now, as people have already mentioned in chat, that's ridiculous. Now, okay, a Rhino, sure. I'll give it that they can't fit in a Rhino. Rhinos are very small. A Rhino could fit the main body at least could fit within the frame of the Impulsor. That's fine. But yes, things like the Land Raider, no. Terminators can get in Land Raiders. Hi, buddy.
Daddy.
Yes.
I had them jump on my bed.
You're jumping in your bed?
No.
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 Oh, you heard Arwen jump on your bed.
Oh my, hey, oh my, jumping.
Okay. Children do this thing where sometimes when they first wake up in the morning, they have very important things they need to express. Apparently the little one heard the cat jump on his bed. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So, so that nerd, yeah, that's, this one pops up every so often about this super famous match. It's so great. Yeah, that's all. That stuff is way before my time, but I will always look at that story whenever it pops up in my feed. So good. 28. What was I rambling about? Oh, yes. So yeah, if Terminators can fit in a Land Raider, there is no reason why a humble Intercessor could not. So basically, Games Workshop just made us buy a whole bunch of new vehicles to fit our new Marines. Okay, I need 4 of these. And comparatively, I get, oh, just one flying. Now, of course, everything, whenever we talk about Marines and options for Marines, it's always ridiculous when comparing it to other armies. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. But comparative to regular Marines, Primaris Marines don't have very many options as far as transports. There is a vehicle that is... So if this is a Rhino equivalent, there is... Yeah, it's just for Games Workshop to make us buy more things. So if this is a Rhino equivalent for Primaris, there is also sort of a Land Raider equivalent. That's the... I always get all the names mixed up. The Repulsor, right? Is that it? Anyway, it's a grav vehicle that's like this, but bigger. And there are 2 versions of that, sort of like this one. Both of them can carry troops. One of them has larger weapons than the other one. I have a kit of the standard, the transport. I have a kit of the standard version of that one. I haven't built it yet. And then there's this, the Impulsor. And other than that, you have to go to Forge World. Some of the Forge World gigantic flyers. They didn't update. Those have really weird old rules about their troop complement. And they didn't update it to specifically exclude Primaris. So you can put Primaris in those. Essentially, it's like a weird loophole. But they left it in. Because again, if you're going to be spending $1,000 on a Forge World model, they're like, yeah, put whatever you want in it. Yeah, my older one scared everybody else in the other room. Now, what a lot of people have talked about and would be very, very interesting, I think I mentioned this before, but in the novels that are sort of like current modern day novels. Let's see. All right, remember, guys, I am on a show, so let's keep it down, okay, please?
Sorry, you just scared him.
I know, but now it's still pretty loud. So in the novels, the Primaris Marines do have a flyer. It's called the Overlord. We don't need to comment on necessarily on Games Workshop choices of names for things, but everyone is always sort of on the lookout as, oh, when is Games Workshop going to turn that into a model, and we'll actually have a flyer that we can pack our Primaris Marines into. I'm excited for it because the way it's described in the books, it sounds very similar to a model that is now out of production but used to be for a long time, the Kestis Assault Ram, that I was interested in, and then they legend it and it's out of print, so I never got one. But that would be cool if they made that. And it looked like that. So because I'm crazy, I try to line up these little things as best I can. That's good enough. Okay. Spawn more overload. Yeah, so hopefully it would be cool if that became a reality eventually. Again, as a Space Marines player, I don't need it right now. It's fine. Go do some Xenos first and come back to it. But it would be cool. Oh, Plastic Thunderhawk would be rad. They could do it. They could do it. Of course they could do it. All right, so these are the starboard, well, right-hand side grav tracks. Let those dry before I put them on. We'll do the port side. See, one of these is the side, and one of these is the front. I always want to make sure I don't do the wrong one. 38. Oh, no, they're exactly the same. No, they're slightly different. Who knows? Oh, right, that's true. We do, yes, there's the upcoming speeder, that big old beefy speeder. I'm excited. I think that model looks cool. Speeders sometimes get a bad rap, but I know, I recognize some StarCraft jokes when I hear them. Although I haven't played that game, or any of those games. I played, which one was the... I don't know if it's StarCraft, or it may be something totally different. But what's the game where you have your ship, you go explore different planets, you drop down and get stuff, but there's also a part of the game where it's a spaceship fighting game, and you pick between the different races with the different spaceships. Old computer game. I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. Masters of Orion? No, it's... Hold on. I always remember the name of one of the ships, so that's the easiest way to look it up. What is the name of the game? Hold on. I'm looking it up. Star Control 2. StarCon 2. That's the game. When did that come out? Yeah, because I loved... Yeah, I don't know this Masters of Orion, but yeah, StarCon 2. The regular game, the base game, bored the hell out of me. I didn't have the patience to go to a planet and drop down and get enough ore and put the pods on the ship and all that kind of garbage. But the fighting game version of it was super fun, and I loved all the different designs. And talk about a game that just really did did a good job of representing the different races with different technology, and like there were such different kinds of ships that did different things. Some ships had shields, some ships, there was one that was almost literally a glass cannon. The entire ship was just a gigantic cannon, but of course once you shot it, then there was a really long cooldown and it couldn't do much else, but if you got hit with it, it would pretty much go through anything else. So that was cool. I liked all that. And then there were the pekunks. And they're like pterodactyls in space. And they had a little tiny ship. It was the most maneuverable, fastest ship. It looks like a little butterfly. Very weak weapon. But it could literally fly circles around any other ship. And its special attack was a taunt. So you press the button and it would say, yeah, exactly. It taunted the enemies. What does it call them? Loser, and I don't know. It had a really funny little voice. But the awesome thing about that one was when it was destroyed, you had, I don't know what the chance was, the RNG, but you had a chance of resurrecting, and it would play a little clip of Hallelujah, and it would just reappear in a burst of light. That was really fun. All right. Back panel needs 329s. And then there were ships that could disgorge its own people to go and latch onto the enemy. So yeah, that was neat. Pop. Alright, those go with that. Yeah, I'll just do these one at a time. I did purchase and install that Battlefleet Gothic game on Steam, and never really opened it. My computer didn't really like running it, and then I just never cared enough to try to figure it out. It looks cool. I know, it looked like there was a lot of micromanagement in that game too. I don't want to spend all my gaming. If I'm playing a spaceship, I don't want to have to redistribute power all the time and that kind of stuff. I mean, a little bit is okay, but I don't know. Oh, you can do Battlefleet Gothic in tabletop. Interesting. In tabletop simulator. That's cool. Yeah, I've never done the tabletop version. That's a good idea, though. I should try that. Okay, so when I'm in tabletop, I know how to import my list from Battlescribe. So it opens that little thing where it has my list, and then I bring out the army, the associated army, and then I put the models on the little paper. But then what? How do I go from there into like an actual... How do I get that into another screen? Does that make sense? I know the people who are behind the Battle Scribe implementation. They have a YouTube channel. They've done a bunch of videos. I think I just need to. I just need to watch their stuff. They'll probably tell me how everything. Create army. You select all of that stuff and save it as an asset. Oh, okay. That would make sense. And then when you're in another thing, you could open it and import it, essentially. Okay. Yeah, Battlefleet Gothic looks really cool. I love the models. I mean, if you're going for the original models, they're quite old, quite expensive on eBay, and they're metal, so they're probably going to be a gigantic pain to put together. But yes, I know that there are some other people who have created 3D versions that you can print out, and that definitely looks cool. But yeah, if I can at least try it on a simulator, that sounds neat. Oh yeah, Rabbit Woman, I know you wrote out something. I should check that. Yeah, Soulforge is one of the people. I mean, if you go on Thingiverse and Cults and just search Battlefleet, like you'll find a lot of stuff that's already out there. But yeah, the stuff that Soulforge is doing looks incredible. Okay, so this is going on the other side, which means the little one needs to go in the first position, right? Yes. Okay, little one in the first position. Okay. Make sure they're pretty lined up. Ooh, looks good. Okay, cool. Well, no, Rabbit Woman, I definitely looked at the first part of the instructions, but yeah, then before I had actually installed the stuff, the latter part didn't mean much to me at the time. Hey, Keen. Today's going pretty well so far. Yeah, Aeronautica looks super cool too, but I'm in the same boat. I was like, oh, that's one I could get way into because I love airplanes and spaceships and things. Also, not a cheap one. So these should just pop right on. Like that. Oh, I gotta remember the little pipes. I almost forgot that last time. Cool. Yeah, I gotta go check out Soulforge's stuff and start downloading their stuff for when I eventually get my 3D printer up and running. That thing is the box that the 3D printer's in, it's now just become furniture because it's been sitting in our house for so long. We just pile stuff on it. Sad. At least it was on sale when we bought it. Yeah, you should probably be able to do well. Yeah, you should probably be able to play Robotech stuff in Aeronautica. Okay. Speaking of, there is a lot of Robotech 3D printed content out there, especially the spaceships. Those didn't exactly line up, but that's okay. Yes, Zardoz, if you haven't heard that I've fully gotten into the Soulforge stuff and they get to Emperor's Children, please ping me. Because that's not something I want to miss. Alright, let's get these pipes while the other thing is drying. These guys. Yeah, Robotech versus Gundam. There are... Somebody's making a generic... It's a generic mecha tabletop game where essentially you have generic templates for different mecha that you can apply, and then you just use whatever models or toys you have. So you could mix and match your stuff in that one. Obviously, it's not super precise, but you just have to sort of agree on what rules you're gonna use and what things have with your opponent, which can be cool. And again, there's a whole team out there that makes Gundam and Robotech data sheets for Warhammer 40k, which is very strange, but it's cool. So you do have some options for trying to mix and match those universes. If you haven't been paying attention, yeah, of course there's. True. If you haven't been paying attention, the Home Buddies Discord, which I highly recommend you go and hang out in because it's super fun. This Saturday, the group stream is another Emma Bar Trivia Night. So get over there. There's a Discord room specifically for it. You can find the sign up link. Go and sign up. You can rank your home buddies in order of who you would most or least like to play with. Emma will announce the teams in a couple days, and we'll do trivia. I have yet to win a game, but I'm sure Rick Vlad Jr. will be there at some point. But gosh darn it, if my team doesn't always have a great time. Yes, that nerd. Winning is highly overrated. That is absolutely true. As long as you're having a good time, and my team always has a good time. It's always interesting to see just how many entire categories my team has no knowledge of. But that's fine too. Oh, hello, Bogmoo. Welcome. Yes, this is a Space Marines Primaris Impulsor. It's a grav vehicle. Thank you so much for the follow. On Wednesday we do Warhammer. On Saturday we do Warhammer. And on other days we do other things. Tiny Chris, Rainy with the party too. Welcome. Thank you so much. How was your stream? How are you doing? So yeah, we just put on the grav plates on the sides, at least. We still need some more on the front, so it can actually hover across the battlefield. New technology is good. Yeah, so my mom, I don't know if my mom is here right now, but my mom was on my team last time and had some really, really key answers for us. I don't think I've yet had anyone. Hey, Emily. I don't think I've yet had anyone on any of my teams who's really known about manga. So we generally suffer in those categories. But that is also where we come up with some of our funniest answers. So it's a trade-off. With age comes wisdom, yes. Well, we hope at least. We're 30. Where are my plates? Plates. Games Workshop has been kind of quiet this week. It's been interesting. Not a lot of crazy news and articles. They did post something. I think it was either late yesterday or this morning. So Games Workshop has a bunch of different branches, right? Yeah, the lockdown. But I mean, of course, they have a bunch of stuff that's already, that's been in production and is ready to come out. So they've got a bunch of branches. There's regular Games Workshop that makes all the models that we usually look at and talk about. There's Forge World that does the arguably more high-end, definitely more expensive resin models. There's the Black Library that does all of their books, like novels and things, short fiction. Citadel, which does paints and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But for the novels, so there are 1 billion Warhammer novels out there, if you haven't heard. Like hundreds and hundreds. It's ridiculous. And oftentimes when a new one comes out, they'll release it sometimes in addition, sometimes just first in a super premium edition. And these things are crazy. It comes in like a slip case. It's really fancy packaging. Sometimes it comes with extra little bits and things. So they just featured some of those in an article, and I don't have any of those special editions, but they always look really cool. Bogwood building Grey Knights, awesome. Grey Knights is one of those armies that I don't have any experience in. Of course, I've seen the models. I know their lore certainly, but I've never played Grey Knights. I've never played against Grey Knights. Oh, there we go. Yeah, of course I know over the years, Grey Knights are one of those armies. When they're good in the meta, they're really good. When they're not, they're trash. Of course, in tournament speak, which I don't care about. Okay, so that's the last standard piece, and then we've got all of this junk. So the Impulsor has sponsons, the weapons on the side, just like we saw in the Gladiator. And that is the same as one of them. So this is the annoying one. This is the only one that doesn't pop back and forth easily. And it's too small for me to magnetize easily, so I'm not going to. So I think what I'm going to do on the Gladiator sponsons here, I glued on the Stormbolter just for rule of cool, because I think it looks cooler than the Fragstorm launchers. So on this one, I'll glue on the Fragstorm launchers. So at least I'll have one set of each. I don't know. I mean, these two vehicles are such a different... Yeah, at least I'll have one set of each. And again, the things that when I play against people, if I say, "Oh, there's a frag storm on there, but it's really a heavy bolt or it's really a storm bolter," nobody I play against would care. So that's my plan there. And then we've got a hatch with the whatchamacallit, stubber. Oh, it says it right there. And then the options for the top, so you can have a closed hatch, an open hatch with a little head peeking out like we built on the other one. And then there's another hatch that goes on the back. And look at all the cool things you can put on it. An Iron Hail Sky Talon array to shoot at flyers. A Bellicatus missile array to shoot at other people. A shield dome that gives it invulnerable save, which is rad. An orbital comms array. So you have all of these different things that can be put on top. And again, this kit has all of those options, and the other kit did as well. So I've got all these little fun fiddly bits to build. Bogmoo is converting a free snap-together Space Marine into a librarian. Oh, that's cool. Ooh, and for Grey Knights, that's probably really cool. Put a bunch of stuff on there. Yeah, it's always an interesting matchup when Grey Knights go up against non-demon armies, because obviously they're built to fight demons. But then it's like, well, how are they going to do against these other things? Sometimes very well. All right, so let's do these sponsons, which are here and here and here. Yeah, no, you all voted during the Gladiator build to build the head out with a helmet, of course. So this one I'm going to build some closed hatches. I do want to have some options. I don't want to build all the same stuff. Yeah, and that's the other thing with Grey Knights, because they have several different units, but they're very similar. So they're all based on this. So they're basically, the kits are such that you can build different units. You have options. So you get a bunch of extra bits, which are always appreciated. Yeah, the Grey Knights look really cool, if nothing else. For those of you who don't know what Grey Knights look like, I'm sure you can find pictures, but they're a branch of Space Marines, but they're sort of on their own. They're all gray. Well, they're silver, and they have some really cool looking, unique things. They've got backpacks with extra little antennas on them. They've got some cool weapons that nobody else has. They're neat. Reading the Horus Heresy novels, you get to find out the origins of the Grey Knights. Yeah, so Emily, this is the Impulsor, which is basically just a little troop transport. So you have to imagine, of course, but basically a squad of dudes could sit here in the back. And then it has a few different options for weapons and stuff that you can put on top. And then the other kit that I built was the Gladiator tank, which uses this same basic vehicle, but it has a whole top compartment that you build onto it that has weapons on it. So, yeah. And Games Workshop does this a lot. If they can have the same basic body create 2 or more units, so much the better. Let's see, what else do I need? Oh, just the... Wait, what did I forget? Did I miss something? I did. Oops. I missed the front. Okay, well, that happened. There was another little support bracket that goes behind these plates that I forgot to put on there. Okay, well, so long as nothing ever hits this really hard in the front, I should be fine. You don't actually need it. You can't see it. It just goes behind those plates. That's interesting. I thought there was something weird about how that went on. Stop yelling from a different room, please. Oh, these children today. Shot out of a cannon, as we like to say. Oh, well. I guess I'll have a spare part. Am I going to name this one too? Maybe. Maybe. Oh my god, a Space Marine army where no one wears a helmet? Ugh. No, thank you. Actually, more common are armies where everybody's in the beaky helmets. Ugh, I can't stand those things. Unless you're playing Raven Guard, and then look, okay, I understand Raven Guard, beaky helmets. It's a thing. Oh god, I can't stand those things. Not a fan. Not a fan here of beaky helmets. I know some people love them. That's fine, I guess. But yes, for all of you at home who don't know what we're talking about, you know what a standard Space Marine looks like. Everybody knows what a standard Space Marine looks like. And there are different styles of helmets, but they're all pretty much like that. But there's one style that instead of a little mouth breather part, it has a beak. It has a straight up beak. The lore is dumb. It housed some like extra sensors. Ugh, dumb. But it was pioneered mainly by a chapter called, well, Legion at that point, but a chapter called the Raven Guard, who have a bird motif, and that's fine. That makes sense at least. But yeah, some people love those helmets. I've seen them 3D print them to be used with Primaris and other stuff, and you can swap out. So one of the nice things that Games Workshop did is, even when they went from these old style Space Marines to the Primaris, while they look fairly different, and it's obviously the scale, they actually have the same size heads, and a lot of the arms and the shoulder pads are the same. Not all the time, and some of them have special fiddly bits, but it's mainly the proportions of the chest and the lower body that are different. Obviously, to make them correctly proportioned. This looks like an actual person. The proportions on these older models are not so great. But yeah, the heads are interchangeable. So if you did have old beaky heads, you could put them on Primaris. Yeah, I mean, especially compared to the older models, like the Primaris models, they do look really nice. Even if you don't like the aesthetic of them, then that's fine. That's individual choice. But they're really well done. Yeah, the vents. Oh no. And Savage Punch, another note with that is that there's actually an older Horus Heresy era helmet style, the Mark IV, that kind of looks like a predecessor to this one. So I used some Mark IV helmets with my Primaris Marines. Oh no. Come for the models, stay for the children screaming. I think he was asked to put on a shirt. I think that's what caused this fit. Kid doesn't always like to wear shirts. What am I going to tell you? Yeah, end of the world, exactly. Okay, get the sponsons done. Well, look, I mean, sometimes shirts are important. We don't always make him put on a shirt. He likes to wear his little robe with no shirt on, which is hilarious. And that's fine, but especially if he's going to be eating, it's like, we need some clothing on you just to catch all the food that's inevitably going to be spilling. But yes, he is, that's Maximilian. He is 2 years old. And there are a fair number of these things that happen for various reasons. You never know what's going to set off one of these. But he will grow out of it. We didn't actually have that with Benjamin. Benjamin was really good at 2, and then he turned into a monster. Different kind of monster, though. Okay. Yeah, so the way these work, just to show you real briefly. So you've got the bracket, the weapon mount, and then the whole thing has a housing. So it focus. So it moves, it rotates. The problem is attaching the front of the weapon to the front there. Goes on real nice, but it's just two little pegs and the adjoining holes. But the pegs aren't long enough to hold it on there by itself. And like I said, you could do a magnet there, but you'd have to drill a hole in there. You'd have to drill a hole in here, and it already has all these open parts, and if you started drilling, those could crack and break. So like I said, I'm just going to glue on the Fragstorm launchers on this one because I glued on the Storm Bolters to the sponsons on the Gladiator. So otherwise, I'm going to leave all these parts unglued because they pop in and out really easily. So there. All right, so this is going to be the right side. So we'll do this one. You know what? Because I don't want to glue this other stuff, I want to take the parts apart before I glue. Yeah, exactly, Zardoz. Yeah, the sponsons are all swappable. One of the Gladiator variants, the Lancer, does use the Impulsor sponson options. In fact. Same thing on the other side. Okay, cool. Let's go over there because those are done. All right, we've got the roll bar, or the front bar, whatever you want to call this thing. Oh, and then the little tiny handles that go on the hood. Where are those? Not those handles, those are for the stubber. They are... Where are they? They're tiny. Oh my god, I'm not seeing them. Were they on a different sprue? Oh, they are on a different sprue. Okay. These little tiny pieces. So apparently you could grab onto the front and hitch a ride if you need to. I guess, I don't know, they look like they have holes in them, like you could attach something and drag it. What was Call thinking? I don't know. Yeah, unfortunately, the next major thing that's coming out for 40k is the Death Guard Codex. So the next couple weeks, month, who knows? We don't know exactly when it's coming out, but it's soon. So we're gonna see a bunch of gross stuff. Boo. But then after that should be Drukari, which will be interesting. Yeah. Triple D's. So now if we run into anything, we'll just bounce it off of that front bar. Hopefully the Deathwing get nerfed. Dark Angels do have some pretty powerful things right now. Although I hear from the experts that that Blood Angels are the top of the heap currently. I don't know. I don't follow that stuff closely enough. Oh, actually, in Zardoz, you were talking about how we're for standard Space Marine stuff, we're waiting on the new speeders and the heavy intercessors, and there's also that new captain variant that we don't technically have a model for, the Gravis captain with some kind of bolt rifle. Okay, so we got the little hook things and the bar. And there's one antenna that goes on the back, and then we start building the hatches. So these are the hatches and the stubber. I need part 74, which is the antenna that goes on the back. Is it this one? No. This one. Yeah, exactly. He'll be in some gigantic set that you have to buy that comes with a bunch of other garbage. Yep. I was kind of surprised that to get this new Sisters of Battle model, the Palatine, that new set with the Jukari, it's not a massive set. It's kind of should be relatively affordable. All right, so it shows that this thing tacks onto the back here, but I guess you just sort of stick it on there somewhere. It's not really a place for it. I'll leave that till later. All right, let's get my hatches on. 33, 12, and 13. 33. You know, if I do open up voting for naming this vehicle, we could potentially get the return of Todd or Russell Crowe. That could be cool. Yeah, so to reiterate, well, okay. I mean, that's true. It is just an impulsor now. It's not the full-on tank. 12 and 13 for the hatch. Which should be this. One hatch at a time. I do wish that they supplied a tank hatch that was just one piece. I mean, obviously they give you all the parts so you can build them in different ways, but it certainly would be convenient if there was one that you just had a top, put it in there, and be done with it, rather than having to build all of the parts. What are you gonna do? Glue over there, glue over there. Glue everywhere. Okay, so we've got our hatch. It is closed. Leave that to dry. All right, let's get this stubber done. What time is it? Okay. Let's build this stubber real quick. So normal schedule as of late. So no stream tomorrow. But I'll be back on Friday for Figure Friday. Maybe we'll just finish up this kit on Friday. And then again, Saturday will be Warhammer in the afternoon with Jessica. And then Saturday night, trivia, sign up, and totally truthfully, when you said, hey, Mr. Runaway Train, we are building... We've already done a Gladiator, so now we are doing the standard Impulsor. We're getting there. Almost done. Won't be able to finish it today, though. Need to get going soonish. But yeah, so if you sign up for the Home Buddies bar trivia nights, you do rank the buddies in order of who you would like to play with, and we do not see that information. So you don't have to worry about hurting anyone's feelings. Not that you would anyway. But that is all confidential information. Runaway train. So I have a lot of models just sitting around that I haven't built. So this stream is a really good, gives me a really good opportunity to build stuff that otherwise I'd feel bad about building just during the day. But hey, if I'm on stream, bust things out. Yeah, and then one day I'll actually paint stuff. Yeah, trivia is super fun, super silly. What do I need? I just need the handles and what is that little bracket? What is that part? Oh, that is the actual bracket. Okay. Yes, the handles are here. Just saw them. And if I wait long enough to build things, and then the meta changes, and then I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't build it that way. Now I can build it this way. And then the meta changes again anyway, and invalidates it no matter what. Oh, cool! You got the Karajan Overlord set. That's awesome. I dabble in Karajan Overlords. I have a small but useful force of them. The only... I'm trying to think of the only models I don't have for that. I don't have the biggest airship. I'd really like one of those, but I haven't sunk the money into that yet because I don't really play Age of Sigmar. I do like the Karajan Overlords, so I don't have that, and I don't have the new HQ guy, with like the hover pack. But other than that, I think I have at least one of every model that they've made, which is not a huge line. Oops. Yeah, whatever the latest jetpack balloon man. Okay, I always forget. So this goes right. The bracket holes are at the bottom. Okay. Ooh, Rabid Wombat. That's cool. Yeah, I got into Karajan Overlords a while back just because I liked the aesthetic. And apparently now they're really good. I'm like, all right, then. That's not why I got into it. But again, I've literally only played Age of Sigmar twice. So I am not an expert in the least. Yeah, Runaway Train. The way that they've implemented so much cool detail on the armor especially, it's pretty rad. Oh, why does this not want to attach? Come on. There we go. Well, yeah, that army has so many options with the different sky ports and all of their special rules that you can customize. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so I don't glue this on so it can move, but this gets glued on. Right. I remember how this goes from the other one I built. Yeah, cool. And I know you have to have that one Stormcast Eternal dude to buff the airships. I have one of him. Even though he has to walk. Alright, cool. So this goes there. And then once it's all dry, the gun can be mounted up there on the bracket. It won't glue it though, so you can kind of pose it. Although there's not anybody operating it, so it doesn't really matter. But it's fun to have. It's fun to have options. And then next will be another closed hatch that'll go here. And then again, all of the other things that go on the back plate, that'll go right behind it. Cool. Yeah, like I said, I mean, from the Gladiator, this kit it's really, really nice. I didn't have any issues. I did learn things from building the first one that I applied to the second one, mainly just in how these parts fit together. This one, I was able to do something very slightly different to get the seams closer. But even then, the first one it's not something you would notice from more than a couple inches away. Yeah, I really do recommend if you play the game and like the aesthetic. It's a really great kit. Very easy to build, very straightforward. It's got some fun options. And yes, as Zardoz says, buy the Gladiator. Even if you're not sure if you're going to run it as an Impulsor or a Gladiator, it comes with all the doodads, and then you can mix and match your parts. Play it one day as a Gladiator, play it the next day as an Impulsor. You don't even need magnets. It's very cool. Right. Speaking of cool, let's see who else is on right now. Yeah, for only $10 to get not only all of the additional parts, but all of the flexibility in how you play it, that is actually a good deal in the Warhammer universe. Let's see who is online right now. Oh my god, there's 66,000 people watching Hassan. That's insane. That is completely insane. Is John not on yet? Usually he's on Wednesdays, right? I guess not. Should we see who's on in the Warhammer universe? Oh, that's true. Yeah, John was moving. Again, it seemed like he just moved not long ago. I think it's Wednesday. Yeah, it should be Wednesday. We're doing Warhammer here. Oh, there's me. Oh, Nerd Princess is on. Let's go. Let's check her out. Nerd Princess official. Nerd. You cannot raid this channel? Why? Why? What does that even mean? I've never... Did I type it out wrong? Nope, I guess she does not allow raids. Okay. Why would you do that? All right, well, let's try just put my arm into the glue. Don't want to do that. Frog Lane Studio. I know, why would you? Okay, we are going to raid somebody who's painting one of the action figures, which is really cool. At least that's what it looks like. Everyone, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Have a great Thursday. I will not be on tomorrow. And hopefully I will see you all on Friday for Figure Friday. Like I said, we'll probably finish this up on Friday. And then, of course, Saturday Warhammer stream. And, some people use raids to be jerks. All right. Why would you do that? That's annoying. I see. Okay. All right, fair. I can envision those sorts of annoying things happening. And then again, Saturday night, bar, trivia. Have a good one. Say hi to Frog Lane Studio. Okay, bye.